need to win this. They need to show us that they are that champion to be a team towards the bottom of the standings. But Trajan Rude, we're underway in the draft. Take it away for the final game of the day.
Thank you, Hawk. And I got to tell you, Rude, I'm looking at championship caliber banning from Liberty right now. You, Aphelios, and Annie. How do you beat that?
Yes, you beauty. Aphelios is banned. I'm done. Oh. Game of the day. Game of the day. Now. Right here.
Give us the B1 LeBlanc as well. It's locked in. Second stat at LeBlanc. Liberty coming out swinging.
Liberty may well be nearing the lower end of our standings. If there was a tier list for how based teams draft, Liberty are in S tier and they're clearing absolutely everybody, like it's not even close. We've banned Aphelios, we've banned Annie, we've B1 LeBlanc. Mwah, chef's kiss.
It's time to get stuck in. Right, so Loud, we're bringing the base levels right back down with the Milio pick going in here. Yeah. We'll see what they pair it with. We've seen the Lucian be an option. They did Lucian Milio last game, I believe. Loud versus Red, which was a game where Loud made a lot more headway than I think people would have expected, given how slow they started week 1, but they still lost at the end of the day. They couldn't get over the line, and they had plenty of struggles in the early game. So we'll see if they want to go down that same route on the bot side, or if there's maybe a more heavy scaling option that Root can pull out.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of some of these like tech issues where the draft doesn't fully finish for us as soon as possible, but I'm more than happy for Liberty actually taking away this Lucian. I think that Loud had a plan that if they, take the Milio and don't take the Lucian, they know they're not getting their hands on it. But with Milio, you can still punish with a lot of hyperscalers. Jinx, for example, banned or not banned away, pairs very nicely with that Milio because you can have upwards of 700, 750 range when lethal tempo stacked and Milio's W is on. And you've got rockets going, like there's a lot of range to be had. Would like to see them lock in their AD carry because otherwise getting rid of that Jinx possibility. Would expect to see that banned. Like I say, Loud, they may well have some secret source down for that bot side of the map. Twitch is another thing that I'm thinking, if like you're happy that things get banned that pairs nicely with the Milio, but yeah, the RE locks in for Tinones doesn't necessarily speak confidence about the bot lane for me.
No, we shall see how tricky Root wants to get down there. I do like the fact that they have gone back to a Tinones classic champion in the mid lane. We've seen a lot of strange things coming out of Tinones in this split, and I haven't really loved the execution, so it's back to basics for him and a Vi, Ahri, jungle, mid. What more can you want in terms of just getting back to your roots here in this current meta and try to just be better than your opponent. Crocodilians have a pairing that can do that. As Loud have gone back to the bans, they've banned the Maokai away to take away from AC, and AC has been pretty aggressive in his jungler picks with the Xin Zhaos and the Vi's himself, so we haven't seen a tank out of him yet.
Wukong, notably absent from the ban table at present, would very likely take his place right there alongside the Maokai. But yeah, I really like this point about the mid-jungle 2 versus 2. I mean, you're playing LeBlanc, a notoriously squishy champion, but the pressure of Vi Ahri may well be able to circumvent that and give you enough of an advantage in the mid-jungle play. Now, that being said, the Wukong remains unbanned here if Aces wants to pick it up for himself on that 4th pick, and focus toward that bot side for Liberty has again not gone the area that I was expecting it to. Jinx still open, but instead, Loud, they're taking away different AD carries.
Feels like we're almost forcing the Jinx to come out here with all of the, even the kind of the pocket picks have been focused instead of the usual meta option. And perhaps it is the Twitch that will come out at the end of the day, but we'll see what Loud want to roll with here as they're going to deal with the Lucian Nami with the ever-present dominant 2v2. Juliera and Woz have been doing a great job down there. Juliera, for me, has really tightened up his gameplay. He's not throwing away leads like he used to, and you had your praise for Woz earlier as well, so this could be a chance for Liberty to flex a bit more of that power. As Loud with one of the only options left. Seems like they might have locked in the Xayah.
Alright, you know what? Not sold. Happy to be convinced though. Like I've highlighted. Would have happily taken a Jinx here, but Xayah obviously very good versus the dive, and you can expect Liberty to try and take a couple more options for dive. So far for Liberty, it's a very early game focused composition, right? You have LeBlanc, you have Lucian Nami down on the bot side. This is mid-game dominance and tempted at the very least snowball from the Liberty side on this blue side. Loud on the flip, they've got a little bit more scaling aspect. Xayah scales quite handily into the late game. I think for Liberty here, just something that can play safe and play stable up on the top side of the map is going to be more than happy. If you want to go for an Ornn, feel free.
Yeah, I was about to say, this feels like it's another Chiari Cassante in the wings, but it was banned in that first rotation. Chiari has been going back to it time and again, and the Sion, in fact, comes in, so if you could think of anything that was tankier than Ornn, it's probably Sion.
Yeah, not too bad. This does give a little bit of a chance for Robo to go for a counter pick. Take a look at Olaf, still open and available. It does give Loud an area of the top side that they can play through the early stages, expecting that they want to play that bot lane a little bit more reserved and not necessarily with too much jungle control. And instead, goes for a bruiser. Robo not one to go for all those tanks, not been happy to take the handshake, and instead gives himself a carry for the top side.
We do see Robo betting on himself a little bit here. Now we have seen the ups and the downs of Robo so far in this split. We've seen the Olafs die twice in lane and then get a solo kill afterwards. You know, we've seen him try to find what's working for him. Maybe the Jax will be the answer. It has been a very dominant pick of his in the past. Going into a Scion, he'll be able to beat down on Kiara just a little bit. You know, the fact that Liberty don't have the Ornn means that I think the late game for me does get even scarier for them, because we just don't have the ornaments to keep them topped up as we get later. But if I look over to Loud, I'm only really seeing the Jax as like a super mega late game threat.
Yeah, I'd argue Xayah, honestly, especially versus Illusion, just because you can keep yourself safe, and I think that just generic crit scaling AD carries are going to do well. The W from Xayah honestly helps us so much in the late game, just because you get an attack speed steroid, and for AD carries later on, that is just the best statistic that you can have, because by that point you've built up your AD, you've built up your crit strike, so it does just give you that extra boost to take you over the edge. Loud, I'm expecting good things, honestly.
Really? You still got the faith? Well, really still got the faith. Hawk, how do you feel? Do you have faith with Loud after seeing this draft? Do you think we're going to end this this little slump we're in here?
Well, you know, they better hope that they do, because Liberty, they've locked in a lot of skirmishing, and it was last game, just yesterday, that we saw the rookies, AC and Juliera, actually pop off pretty hard. And now they're on the Wukong, they're on the Lucianami. It looks like the ball's in their court, right? So it's up to Loud to try to weather the storm. Look, slumps happen for teams all the time. Sometimes you get hot and other times you get cold. But Loud, you do not want to start at the bottom, as I think we're getting ready to get loaded up. And I'll turn it back over to you guys for our final game of the day.
Thank you very much, Hawk. Game number 5, our two-time back-to-back defending reigning champions versus Liberty. And this is not a match that I would expect to feel as close as it does, Rude Dude. But I love that Liberty have bet on themselves in the draft. They're coming off a win yesterday, and Loud are just desperately trying to get out of this tailspin.
Now, last game, we also got to see the debut of Static Shiv LeBlanc. I think that this game, we got to see the correct priority put on Static Shiv LeBlanc. B1 seems appropriate, because this champ has been ruining solo queue, is genuinely absolutely obnoxious to try and play against. And the saving grace for me for Liberty is that I have way too much stock invested in how powerful Static Shiv LeBlanc is. So I'm hoping Avenger can prove me right and start putting on a monstrous performance.
Yes, we'll see if... we saw the damage numbers that Lav was putting out. It was a loss for Los in the last game, but he did manage to do the most damage in the game with that Static Shiv LeBlanc. Perhaps we'll see if Avenger can have similar impact here in this game versus the Tinones. Very tough nut to crack, both in the pick side and the player side. Tinones, while it's not been the best start to the season for him, this is a guy that Loud have been able to rely on in times of need. Now the bot laners already starting to throw punches. Yeah,
W start for both of our Loud bot laners there. Are aware of the overlay issues, folks at home, so bear with us. We will get that sorted out as soon as possible, just so that we can give you the optimal viewing experience. But I do quite like that aggression early on from Root and Seos down in that bot lane. Again, that extra range that the Cozy Campfire gives you could not be undersold in terms of its value to a bot lane skirmish, and particularly when a Lucian is looking to get in and down on your bot lane. Keeping that range is king.
We do currently see Wukong venturing into that top side jungle, going for a bit of an invade to start off here. Vi on the bot side, AC is, I believe, spotted there. There's the red ward you can see. And that top side red buff picked up by the Liberty jungler. Maybe looking for mid lane. Tinner's not going to give him a chance. We could have a bit of a vertical jungle split here to start off.
Not if AC's has got anything to say about it. That's my red buff, and he's taking it more than handily. Going to be crossing back down into his bot side jungle and not allowing for a cross map at all. So Croc getting free buffed just for Kiari showing a little bit of presence down in the top side jungle early on. Something that he's more than happy to give up, as especially he's even enough in farm to begin with. Can't really complain too much.
AC was a jungler that did have, the lows last split as well, but was going to make things happen as Croc ventured into the bot side. Could look to make a play onto Avenger, but remember Wukong is in the area too. And this 2v2 could get pretty explosive as Croc starts up the Raptors. He's going to get aggressed on by the Wukong, followed up by the clone. Avenger looking to follow it up, flash in, and Tino's, can he stop this? Can he do anything about this? Lands the charm onto Avenger, and the chase cannot continue.
Okay, I would have liked to see Avenger path down to Wasp here just to at the very least get a heal, and on his way back into the lane means that he's a little bit safer, but flash for flash between mid and jungle, that's honestly a big win for Loud. Losing your mid lane as flash, even if it's a LeBlanc, it's never something that's too desirable. It just adds that extra level of playmaking potential for Tino's here. Charm flash could very easily catch someone off guard.
See Loud bot lane again, trying to find an angle onto Juliera, trying to get that poke down, catch him going for the waves, but he slips out of dodge. Avenger forced to burn that TP, get back into the middle lane. So early success for Tinones, but these top laners are getting pretty low.
Not
and
again.
The Croc dive on the cards. We've seen these go well. We've seen them go very, very badly, Rude Dude. And AC's here to cover. Can Croc get himself out? He will just Vault Breaker to safety.
All right, no botched CBLOL dive for game number 5 just yet. I do want to quickly highlight something about the bot lane. Obviously, we've got no overlay, but it's worth mentioning here that we do have a first strike Lucian down on the bot side of the map. Juliera opting into the more burst-oriented Keystone. And so far, they've actually done a really poor job at trying to use first strike, it's worth saying. Root and Seos have been proccing that at every instance.
The heal procced as well. Feathers drop Juliera ever so low. Root takes a fair amount of damage in return, but this Loud bot lane are really pushing the advantage.
You know, the CS advantage certainly present for them as well. Robo trouble.
It was in. Baited in. AC can come right in for the punish. A flash traded to follow. And the auto attack will seal the deal. First blood for the Liberty Jungler. Another great start for him with Juliera and Root going at it in the bot side. Root is so low. First strike just about doesn't do the job, but the flash gets him back to tower.
And even despite the winning trades for Loud in the bot side of the map, it's them burning double summoner spells on their AD carry. Means that Root now has to go back to base and have to struggle to get all of these waves. Look at Seos positioning very wisely to try and catch it, but Was also wise to the play, going to ensure that this wave crashes under the turret. Ensure that Seos can't hold this. Yeah, you're going to need to put some commitment in, but even just Seos stepping up like that, it's actually held 3 minions outside of the turret. It means that it's going to be okay for Root at the very least, and means that the recall time for Juliera actually a bit worse.
Yeah, exactly, and the CS advantage still with the Loud bot lane. We'll see a replay of this top lane fight though. Robo just commits at the wrong time.
Yeah, there's not too much to this, and a nice space from Chiari as well means that he doesn't get stunned after the fact. AC follows with the flash more than happily, knows that this is a done deal. And again, first blood for AC. Last time out when we saw him yesterday was more than proactive on the map, getting a kill pre-6 on the Wukong is terrifying. Means he gets to go into his level 6 spike with a Sheen and with a couple of long swords to boot.
Absolutely, and we saw AC already getting vocal on the cams just after the first blood there. That's what we want to see. We want to see the momentum building up for this player and this team to give us a better fight down at the lower and mid side of the standings. Robo again commits the ultimate. No AC to punish him this time, but still not really winning out on the trade.
Now you can see Robo, he's playing his lethal tempo, you know, fairly well. It looked like he was taking a really bad trade, then he was able to swing it back around when that lethal tempo started to get stacking up. But it's not a laning room, unfortunately. It's going to scale really well, and he's going to be able to deal with the side lane later on quite well. But for the time being, he probably is just going to have to bear the brunt of the Scion's early base damages and move into the late game, knowing that eventually he's going to be stronger.
You have Loud moving on to this first Chemtech Drake Liberty, foraging into the river to see what's going on here. They've got Avenger on the top, 3 on the bot side, as Croc is still committing. He doesn't have ultimate still on the Vi. Avenger does. Tinones as well has the Spirit Rush available. Loud sticking to this buff, not to be intimidated away by Liberty. And it seems like the blue side just thought, you know, maybe we'd freak him out, but they held fast and they'll get the dragon as a reward.
I'm a little confused. I'm going to just leave it at that because I think Liberty could have done a lot more to contest that. I don't think that Loud should have been able to get away with that as easily as they did. You know, they flexed their muscles a little bit and then decided, actually, we don't have the bones to back this one up. And it's a free take for Loud at the end of the day. Tinones hops in.
Tinones commits with the 2 Spirit Rushes, lands everything he needs, and that's as clean a skill as you like.
Yeah, I mean, Avenger, what are you doing there? Like, if you've still got distortions to use, you want to get them out. If you don't, you cannot step that close to a LeBlanc. working his way towards the static shift steadily, but not really a solo kill to be proud of, honestly, if you're Avenger.
Yeah, just a misstep for the Liberty mid laner there. Tinone's back on the R8, back to success in the lane so far. It's that first kill on the Loud side. Should be able to be a little bit more useful, perhaps, than in past games. As Croc now onto the top side, still waiting on that level 6. AC working on the scuttle. Both these junglers want to get that ultimate so they can really start having some impact on the skirmish.
Now we have AC Cyclone ready and available. Let's spot out this pink ward here, and honestly, on Vision, I don't think that he particularly cares. Has got that level 6 on the Wukong, wants to force a fight as best as possible, but Croc's Red both ticked him over as well. It's now a question of which team is coming first. Loud have left route in the bot side where Juliera is actually committing to this top side. Never mind, he doesn't know, he's not made his mind up yet.
Charm onto Avenger, gets away from Croc without taking too much damage. It's now Juliera and was start passing back towards the bot side. As Tramash in the mid lane has allowed the Herald to be picked up by AC with no contest. He's continuing on that top side success for the Liberty roster. Croc, though, wasted no time. Stepping into the bot side. See the vision to see what's coming here, though. Will they actually go to tower if they know that Croc's in the area? Looks like they're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. And they think perhaps maybe not. And now Croc still commits the ultimate onto the Nami. No ult available and no way to safety. Cullen comes out, peppering them down. But it's only damage. No real threat for the Loud roster.
Honestly, that's still okay for Liberty. Obviously, losing the kill and it going onto the Vi, not the best situation. But Juliera gets this wave, and that's the biggest part of all that. They're able to get the experience, maybe not necessarily the gold, but they're able to stay at least on parity with how far Root is leveling in this game. You know, you'll sacrifice your Nami for that, honestly. If you're an AD carry, I've been in this position many times before. I'm like, well, honestly, I don't care that you die because I got this wave solo.
I'd give my Nami up for a cannon any day of the week. Don't have to ask me twice. That's a trade-off where I will take. Thank you very much. We'll clear out that wave as the recalls come through from Root to, you know, I didn't even just, hang on a second, Root stuck around, looks for a little play onto Juliera, jumps out half his HP. Is it worth for this damage, or is he just delayed his base for nothing?
Well, he's delayed his base significantly here. He's now going to have to try and find a recall timing where Juliera and Wasp give it to him. But if he still stick around, he's going to be able to catch this wave. Feels a little bit rough, but Juliera going to be the first one to go back. It's so-so, it's whatever, because they're both going to be able to base on a neutral wave and then be able to move forward. And honestly, if Root sticks around one more after this, it's actually going to push another wave in and deny a lot from the Lucian.
He's managing that bot lane very well on his own. It's been a while since we saw Seus in that lane, to be honest, as the Herald comes into the mid lane. Gets a little bit of gold back towards that Liberty roster, but it's not a huge swing. The gold's still very even in this early game. And to be honest, it's one of the better early games from Loud so far. They have struggled in these initial stages. This could set them up for a better mid game than before.
However, Avenger has hit his one-item power spike.
Oh,
the static shiv is ready for the LeBlanc, ready to auto-attack some waves and clear them far too quickly for any control mage ever.
Absolutely, we're going to see the real plays come out of Avenger right now. Slam him in the side lane, we'll never see him again, and we'll never see another red minion on the map.
I mean, so to touch on this static shift LeBlanc a little bit, it just adds to the LeBlanc wave play. One of the issues with it is that even at level 9, LeBlanc's W doesn't one-shot the caster creeps, which is like the hallmark of mage mid laners is, does your generic spell clear caster minions? LeBlanc's answer was always no, so this static shiv just makes it so once you've got one AP item, a single auto attack will do it. Now the issue with static shiv at the moment is that exists for honestly every single mage, where the scaling being based off of your AP isn't particularly well balanced, I'll say.
Yeah, we
have you played any
questions.
Vigor with this item?
No, but I can imagine, given the nature of killing minions with Vigor being somewhat beneficial.
I have done some unspeakable things to squishy supports with Lichbane Vigor and the static shiv as well.
Yeah, I can imagine that was somewhat R-rated, those games, as we do have the second dragon coming alive. Loud again with the first move into the river. I'm going to start it up just now, and last time Liberty had a look and then walked away. Now they've got the ultimates, now we've got some first items completed. I imagine we'll see a bit more fight out of them.
I'd like to think so. Divine Sunder finished for the Wukong. That's that big one-item hit that you're looking for as the Monkey King in the jungle. But Loud, they're just establishing their priority first to make sure that they're able to push in a wave before they head toward this Drake. They've actually split up a little bit here. No mid laner just yet.
fairly deep, and AC trying to cut him off at the pass. The TP coming in from Sion. I don't know if Robo can stop this. Croc has been caught out. He's been taken down, in fact, by AC. It's the opening kill for Liberty, but now Robo is here, forces the flash, doesn't get over the wall himself, and the re-engage comes through. A beautiful bubble from Was, and Robo the second to drop for Loud. Liberty with H-bars dropping ever lower. Root is still scary. Tinones is there. They've got 2 kills for this.
They do need to turn this into a Drake, though. Juliera
wants a little bit more, flashes in with a burst strike. Is it enough to get the damage down as Tinones has caught AC in the pit? No one from Liberty had his back, and Tinones might have just saved this dragon play.
I don't think they'll be able to pick up the Ocean, but Liberty still coming out barely ahead on that play. Root still has Flash, so holding his nerve there, knowing that Juliera flashed forward and still didn't have the damage. But they weren't able to convert it there, Liberty. They managed to find a couple of kills, but then got too greedy on the back end. We had a couple of people playing for Root's life. We had one person playing for that Drake. Ultimately got picked off for it. Gonna get another look at the replay here. You can see AC, the focus initially from Croc, but just gets absolutely slammed between Divine Sundra and the LeBlanc coming through. More than enough damage to pick off a Vi. And then it's all Robo for the most part of this, but AC hugging that wall is able to flash away. Robo with that bit of distance not able to do the same. And it is Wass's bubble keeps the Jax locked in place. As much as Root is trying to stick the DPS down as fast as possible, Chiari has too much health at this stage in the game, and the Zion without that first item can't pick it up.
Yeah, and AC just realizes, hang on, this is not free, the fight is not done. Liberty turn around to see their jungler fall in the pit, and Tinones again keeping Loud in this one. 2-0 and 0. Certainly performing better in this game. The gold still basically dead even, and Loud still got the Drake after all of it. After the resets came through, Drop was burst back to the area.
You can see 3 plates, 4-3 plates, fairly quiet early stage of this game. You know, not too much aggressive trading, just the one Herald used in the mid lane by Liberty. Now those first items are finished for our AD carries. Root opting into the Kraken, or Juliera here opting into the Gale Force. So a little bit more maneuverability for the Lucian versus that extra damage that comes through on the Kraken Slayer for Root. Worth mentioning as well that Kraken Slayer also got changed, so it still deals bonus damage on its third auto attack, but it's now bonus AD damage as opposed to true damage.
He's committed in with a TP, a full fight with all 10 members. The double lockup from Liberty. Can they find the kill? The jungler again dying first, but so many HP was Liberty belting away. Juliera trying to deal the damage, trying to dip and dive as Root is in the thick of it, fighting away his opposite 2 versus 1, and he takes down the Lucian. Liberty now in the middle of 3, suddenly out of position, suddenly the fight swinging away from them as Avenger hunts down Tinones. The static shift proc, gonna get one more auto. There it is. As soon as he needed it, the numbers came up and Avenger finds the kill.
20% chance and Avenger rolls high. 2 for, or 3 for 3, I think, in the long trade. But remember, Liberty were able to secure the Rift Herald, so they're the ones that come away with the objective, as well as the turret in the mid lane. You said that going into this, the gold was dead even, and now Liberty, they've got themselves that 1,000 gold lead. It may not be a lot, but the map pressure that comes from a turret falling in the mid lane, exceptionally powerful for Liberty. Let's get another look at this, because both teams played this exceptionally well. Liberty, they played this death ball really nicely. You get to see Robo actually caught out and Croc as well. Double knocked up, and the fact that Robo lives here is peak Melio gaming. Keeps his Jax alive for so long, until Avenger's able to finally dive in and finish him off. And on the bottom side of the map, bottom side of the fight, Tinones and Root just going unchecked because people tunneled too hard on this Jax's low HP bar. And Avenger, as you can see, able to whittle down Tinones. Very sadly, the 149 damage.
Oh,
you love to
love
see
that.
it.
The little fist
Wouldn't
bump.
have killed him otherwise.
You know, when you roll a 6, you just got to give a little fist bump for it. He knows that everything came up Avenger in that fight. Now through 1-on-1 on the static shift. LeBlanc could be down to give us its first win in the CBLOL split too, as we're back to regular assignments right here. Avenger actually in the bot side and does have the Herald. In all of that mess, he did still pick up that objective. He could use it to get that pressure, get that side lane pressure pushing even harder than normal.
And it's worth mentioning here that this build path not straight into that Shadow Flame, looking more toward, I think, a Cosmic Drive, so making his build, you know, even more based around slipperiness, mobility for the LeBlanc. When we have mages that build these crit items, I do feel obliged to tell people that crit isn't just a flat 20-80 check in this case.
Yeah.
To hold it. AC goes in.
Okay, AC going very deep, walks into 4 members of Loud, and has to clone his way out. Out comes the Herald. Can we get it? Can we get it? And can we get it, Root Dude? It's time. Oh, hey! There we go. They let us do it. Thank you, Loud. You didn't ruin it like Fluxy did in the last game. Much appreciated. They won't get the second charge, but they will find that tower, and the lead keeps on growing.
With 2 turrets taken out from Liberty, already in a good spot to start snowballing this game. 2k gold now in their favor. The next fight going to be around this dragon spawns within the next minute. You would like to see this LeBlanc start to really dial up the damage, this Lucian as well be able to pop off in these team fights. And honestly, so far, Avenger and Juliera haven't disappointed. Been doing exceptional work in these team fights. It's unfortunately just been matched by Tinones and Root. Root, for one, yet to die in this game, and Tinones, who's been able to find exceptional playmaking fights every single time we've seen it. So really happy so far with both of our mid AD carry combos, and it could very well come down to which of them performs better in the fight as to who comes out on top of the game.
I'm honestly pretty shocked that Root didn't die in that fight. After seeing how deep he was in the mess, the entire enemy team of Liberty, the fact that he scrapped his way out is certainly something to be proud of, as we have TPs coming into lane again as the Dragon spawns. Yeah,
it's a Night Harvester for Juliera or for the LeBlanc. I completely forgot that this proc is absurd. The combo between these two is not okay, but Loud, they've started up the Drake, and Proc gets the first bit of damage down. He's going to have mediocre shields and a campfire on 30-second cooldown to keep people alive.
Avenger on the flank again. We saw the damage House could do from the flank in game number 3, and Loud, you can see they're scared. They're not confident moving up in the river with this LeBlanc bearing down on them from the side. And Liberty take control of the Dragon themselves. Down below 6k HP, looking for the engages and people like Croc. Maybe Tino's finding a charm. Shiara trying to wall them off. Tino's into the pit, committing Croc as well. He doesn't go full force. Juliera caught up by the Vi ultimate, but he's out of danger for now. A flash away from the Vi. Juliera, back unit down. Double knockers of AC and Loud in full retreat. He drops the ult. Can he find the feathers? Can he once again scrap his way out? He's been rooted. Avenger on the flank, but Robo in for the save, and Avenger dashing back as he goes golden. Gets away from the slam as well, but it's only delaying the inevitable, and the Loud top laner will still be threatening. Someone has to kill him, and eventually he will go down, but all 5 members of Liberty survive.
It's such good fighting from both of these teams. Credit to Seos for keeping Root and Tino's alive on the backside of that. One Ultra Mega Fire Kick actually zoned away Liberty and kept their backline from dying. And then Robo jumps in to help keep his team alive as well. But Drake ultimately falls to Liberty, and Loud bite just a bit too early. Over the wall with the Dragon at about 4k, and then gets split. Juliera uses Flash, uses Gale Force, pulls the Vi just too far away, and Croc is taken out of the fight early on. AC runs through the entirety of Loud, knocks up everybody. But now look at Seos here. Kick knocks Avenger back, stops himself getting rooted, and gives space for Root and Tinones to walk away. Robo might have been able to make it out of this had that cone not been used by Tinones so early. Maybe still had that Q. And what the frame perfect flash as well, getting to safety before he got stunned. Everybody in that fight was giving what Force Rage in. It's just Liberty were barely able to come out on top.
I love what I'm seeing, especially from Liberty in this game. They're going toe-to-toe with the Teamfight Masters and just winning out in the straight 5v5. Avenger flashes away from the Everfrost as Croc, looking to get a range for the ultimate, commits the cease and desist, and will have him locked up. Root gifted the shutdown, and finally Loud gets something for nothing.
Yeah, not a fan of this from Liberty. They had the opportunity to push in that mid lane if they'd have wanted to. Instead, tried to collapse, weren't able to find anything, and now Loud are going to be able to take themselves a top tier 1 turret. Juliera on a reset there, so there was no push potential on the flip side of the map, and no collapse really able either, so bit of a misstep on what they could do in the meantime, and Avenger stepping forward when he didn't have the right to do so. Rightfully punished by Loud, and credit where it's due, because they've frequently this split not capitalized on mistakes from enemy teams, and Avenger there giving one over, and a nice spot on capitalization from Loud.
Keeping the gold still fairly close. Only 2,000 in the lead of Liberty, and we can see that these fights, it takes everything that Liberty have to get them to work, right? There were a lot of low HP bars from that fight. It took everyone playing their role very, very well. No one's allowed to put a foot out of place because Loud is ready to punish. They're not looking sluggish. They're not looking like they don't know what to do, or they don't know what their champions do necessarily. There's definitely not still the back-to-back champion Loud form that we expected from them in the playoffs. but it's getting better. It's getting a little bit more life in our current champions, and Liberty cannot afford to disrespect them as this game heads into the mid stage.
Avenger's third item looks to be a Lich Bane. Got to keep tabs on this LeBlanc's build path as it develops, just so that you can get the emphasis on how powerful this split push LeBlanc can be. It is now caught out once again. There's a teleport and a cease and desist ready.
He's trying to find the same play once again. Robo catches him slipping past with the counter-strike there. Crockult again will commit. And it's as easy as that for round number 2. He did at least get the turret, but twice in a row, Avenger has given his life away. Thankfully, there's no other objectives to take. Liberty just holding it down in the mid lane.
Once again, no real side lane utilization from Liberty. When Loud commit 4 people to that top side, you hope to see them do something elsewhere on the map, but that's simply not the case here. Missing out on opportunities once again. Root able to clear that wave as Loud go in.
Ari was threatening onto Root, but it might start a 4v5. They want no part of. Was is already down, but they've got them under the tower. Look at the pepper with the damage back onto Croc, and it's jungle for support as Kiari steps back to the tower. Charm lands onto Juliera, though. Tinones does not miss those. And at the end of the day, the fight goes very much awry for Liberty.
These are your CBLOL champions, team fighting above and beyond. Avenger TP's in behind here to try and cause some chaos, but I don't think he's going to have anything to say about this. They take themselves the mid-tier 1 turret. They've got a Drake spawning in a minute's time, and they're going to cut their losses, be happy. This was a 5 versus 4, remember. They've cut off Avenger at the top of this play. And as much as Kiari is buying so much space on this front line, Tinones has just been lethal with these charms. Dives forward, picks up Was. That disengaged wave comes through just a little too late, and despite it hitting all 5 people, just didn't matter. Second attempt at an engage comes through from Tinones, and you can see Everfrost first, into the charm. Beautiful combo, and Juliera had flashed this whole time, didn't respect it, gets caught out and taken down.
Tinones really refusing to let this game get out of hand for Loud right now. 4-1-6, 10 out of 11 kill participation on the Ahri. Having a stormer here in game number 4. Does not want to let us fully press down those panic buttons. Keeping the faith right now in our 2-time champions. Avenger looking forward for the pokes. All 10 members once again back to the CBLOL ARAM as the Dragon is up in 3 seconds.
You can see Avenger just looking to W forward, auto attack for your poke. That's pretty much all it is. If you get a Q in there, you can weave Luden's Echo procs in as well, but he's actually gone for the Night Harvester, so I'm completely lying. You're just looking to proc your Mythic, and that's about it.
Kiari taking the damage on the front line once again. Robo jumps back to safety. Cloud with control of the mid lane. They can path back towards the Dragon if they wish, but the poke coming back is vicious.
Yeah, Root's done too much there, stepping forward. He has got good damage to take out Kiari. Lost into a last whisper item already for Liberty. They're quite happy to sack off mid because they're hitting straight onto this Baron. Lucian notoriously poor at taking this, but they've got a little extra damage from a LeBlanc. This is risky from Liberty. They have got Avenger over a side and they're looking to turn for a fight.
Yeah, the DPS is just not high enough. Avenger goes in, looks for the chain. Kiari commits in, forces the ult from Root, but he's left himself deep behind enemy lines. Flashes back to the lane and gets out for now as Avenger finds himself caught out over the wall. The Vial was no hesitation and Tinones finishes off the kill. Now Loud on the hunt for more. They smell blood in the water. They won last fight. They're looking to win another as Kiari goes down as well. Both Liberty solo laners looking at the grey screen. Juliera barely gets away from the counter-strike. AC in tow and Was pulls the recall. But Loud really starting to gather steam here.
The bane of any assassin when the enemy team groups, and we just see Avenger has absolutely no impact on these team fights. Static Shift may well be hitting onto all 5 members of Loud, but it's just not hitting like an Orb of Deception, like the big combo from a full AP assassin was supposed to. And Loud take away their 3rd Dragon of the game, their 3rd consecutive 1 fight, and are really starting to put the foot to the floor.
Tinones picks himself up the Medjais off the back of that fight. He's certainly feeling good about this one as Robo picks up the bot lane tower and Loud finally take control of a gold lead. Plus they have the Infernal Soul point themselves, plus they have all the momentum on the map. It is really looking like Loud have come alive here. They were not going to let Liberty just walk over them for nothing.
And a reminder about compositions. We have Xayah scaling into the late game. We have Robo scaling into the late game with this Jax. The split push possibilities genuinely exist for Loud and Liberty. Late game scaling evolution, notoriously poor. LeBlanc in the later stages of the game, this static Shiv LeBlanc, maybe it can pop off in a team fight, but we've not seen it happen just yet. And for a Sire, yes, he's a great tank. We're getting to the stage in the game where that Xayah is just cutting through. We've got so much ability haste as well due to the Navori quick plays route has opted into. The Kraken Slayer, as mentioned, giving him bonus attack damage procs every 3 auto attacks. And very soon we'll have that Lord Dominic's Regard finished. You can see the difference in HP and the amount of value that that's going to give.
Robo with a flank angle onto Juliera here, who doesn't have the flash. Robo on a pink ward. Liberty do not know. And as they move towards this Baron, they could give Robo an inside track to the backline.
Now, of course, if he walks through the turret, he gets spotted from that, so he's going to have to be a little cautious about how he approaches.
He's going for it, look for the Lucian. Can he find the stun? Actually, only finds it onto Wasp and uses the Zhonya's to go golden. The rest of Loud run around the corner and keep him alive. Ultimately, the engage doesn't work out. Neither takes too much damage, but certainly a scary one for Liberty.
Yeah, it's a weird game of chicken there for Robo because he actually doesn't have vision down this mid lane, doesn't know how far up they are.
Chiari caught in the mid lane once again, and he's melted on the front line. Rock commits deep for Juliera, remember. No flash on the Lucian. Avenger traces it back, but Robo finds his mark, and Loud running rampant over the mid lane. Liberty sent Scatter to the jungle, but Tinones will not give the chase up. Avenger and Wasp find the Blasco, and they'll pull the recalls. There's a Baron to be taken.
It's a 2 for 3 though. Avenger still has teleport, and with the right layering of damage, he may be able to dissuade Loud. Root doesn't have a big front line, and there's no cease and desist to cut him out. Avenger, this is all you, buddy. You have to steal this away.
Mechanics have to be crazy. Baron down below 4k. They've got the Xayah execute with the feathers. Goes into the pit. Looks to steal the objective. Gets charmed up. Gets knocked down. It's all gone wrong for Avenger. They needed a hero. It wasn't him today. Here's a replay of that fight. Loud just running over them.
You can see Chiari cannot stand the might that is the full Loud composition. And whilst Croc may have dove in too deep, Robo was there to finish off the job. Frontline versus backline, and ultimately Loud have just got a better backline that is dealing more damage more consistently and are able to help support that bit faster.
My word, Tinones has the 20 stacks on the Medjais, working towards the Rabadons. This RE damage is going to be massive, especially if they can get the Infernal Soul in 90 seconds. Now they have the Baron, they can get these pushes going. They've got a Jax for side laning, Tinones as well, very hard to pin down. Liberty going to have their work cut out for them to try and break the pushes that Loud are going to be coming in with.
Now face checking, I was going to say is easy, but if they're face checking into 5 people, even Sion struggles to face check all 5 if he's taking the brunt of their damage. See Divine Sunder for Robo. That's a decent chunk, it's worth mentioning from Avenger, but Chiari takes one hell of a chunk back.
My word, Root with no mercy coming through right here, and this is only 3.5 items. He's not even close to done on the scaling front. As we see Liberty, they've got 3 item spikes on both of their carries. The Lich Bane complete for Avenger. Rapid fire cannon from Juliera, but he's been caught out once again. And Tinones wipes him out. Loud absolutely crushing this late game. They've got the Baron push. Juliera nowhere to be found, watching the timer tick down, watching his base crumble in front of his eyes as Loud will not be stopped. Now the inhibitor's going to fall as well.
Avenger jumps in, but Root quite happily DPS's him back. Baron at their backs, Nexus turrets in their sights. Liberty, what have you got to say?
Robo dives forward, goes golden again. Liberty have to pull out all the stops here. They've got to find the miracle, but no one can touch Root. Another beautiful charm. What else can we say? Tinones doing so much work, hard carrying this game from minute 1 to minute 31. As Loud will break the slump, they'll knock down Liberty, and the panic buttons were not pressed this day.
It was close. They certainly got given a run for their money. Liberty with a 2,500–3,000 gold lead through the early game.